Thank you, Senator Reid. Mr. Colby, welcome. Welcome to you
Thanks,
and
Senator.
your family and friends. In your answers to the committee's advanced policy questions, you stated that, quote, U.S. nuclear forces underpin our entire deterrence and defense posture, end quote, and that, quote, ensuring we retain a modern, capable, and effective nuclear deterrent should be our top priority, end quote. I agree with those statements. Nuclear deterrence must be the foundation for any defense strategy. However, this foundation is threatened because of decades of underinvestment and poor management. I'm confident this administration can correct the course of our modernization programs, both through adequate resourcing and by approving our acquisition strategies for Sentinel, Columbia, and B-21. Mr. Colby, if confirmed, will you commit to working with this committee to fully modernize all aspects of our nuclear triad and continuing the work of the first Trump administration to rebuild our nation's most important military capabilities?
I do, Senator.
Thank you. Russia has nearly completed their modernization of all of their nuclear forces, and China's modernizing, and they're growing their arsenal at a breathtaking speed. Yet the combination of an industrial base that we continually worry about in this country and overly complicated acquisition policies, it holds us back from keeping pace. You've talked about that. The Vice President talked about that in his introduction to you as well. If confirmed, what policies would you recommend to increase the overall capacity of that industrial base?
Well, Senator, I think actually a number of the things that the Vice President has spoken about and the President, which is that a broader reindustrialization, in my view, is necessary to fix a lot of the defense industrial base issues, not just with the nuclear forces, as critical as they are, but also with the broader conventional forces as well, which is to say, and I know this committee has drawn attention to this problem, that despite the investment of money, often the results are less than people would like to see, for instance, because of workforce issues. So if confirmed, I wouldn't approach the problem with saying I have all of the particular policy ideas set and I'm going to, in terms of improving the industrial production. But what I would see my role as making very clear that revamping and restoring a really healthy and robust defense industrial base is absolutely a national priority. And what I've said as a private commentator, but I believe as a public official, if confirmed, is that we kind of need a national mobilization of our defense industrial base. We need to be able to get better results, and it seems to me that's something that could get wide agreement.
Do you have in mind any acquisition policies that you would revamp at this point in time, that you would recommend changing or even eliminating?
Senator, at this point, I wouldn't have any specific ones. I know a lot of those would be under the purview of the Undersecretary of Defense for acquisition and other, the service secretaries and so forth. I would be delighted to dive into that issue further and give you a more concrete answer. But again, I would see my role, if confirmed, as the USDP to kind of drive the overall strategic direction that we need to get better results out of our defense industrial base.
Should we utilize the Defense Production Act
I think that absolutely would make sense. And deregulation in general at that level, I think all options should be on the table including things that seem pretty dramatic, because I think, as the chairman rightly said, we live in a very dramatic situation and world.
The department's also modernizing our NC3, and that's what the Strategic Forces Subcommittee calls the fourth leg of our triad. If confirmed, will you ensure that this effort receives the necessary attention and the resources that it needs?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. Would you prioritize it as one of, along with our triad, as the top priority of the department?
Certainly. I mean, I think command and control is absolutely essential, and when we're living in a world of much more capable cyber capabilities, not to mention missile threats, not just the traditional strategic strike threats, but also a range of different threats that are evolving very quickly, we have to absolutely pay really critical attention to NC3.
Thank you, Mr. Colby.